Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. So we do a daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 2nd of September. First important news, that is Aditya-L1, India's first solar observatory mission, something very important and significant for a country like India, where India has already achieved Chandrayaan-3 to be a successful mission. Second, panel to explore the possibility of one nation, one election. This has been a long pending debate ongoing when it comes to the part of democratic process. We'll see what exactly is that panel that has been formed. Third, that is progress report for missions Clean Ganga, the national mission for Clean Ganga. What is the progress that has been made so far? Second last, that is the GST revenue ease to 3-month low. And the last is an editorial ahead of G20, India's road safety challenge. See, G20 is something as an important forum for India. And India being the current chair, बहुत सारे ऐसे issues हैं जिनके discussion हुई है. In that context, road safety is very important. Now, apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is Aditya-L1, India's first solar observatory mission, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology and development of new technology, right? So when I'm recording this lecture, possibly the part of the execution has already been happened by ISRO. And this is again will be a milestone for India's space sector. So what exactly the ISRO is doing? India's first solar observatory mission, its name as Aditya-L1, will be launched on board by the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, that is PSLV, right? Now, the Indian Space Research Organization is set to launch the Aditya-L1 from Sri Dhawan Space Center, that is at Harikota, Sri Harikota. बात करें सतीश धवन स्पेस सेंटर की, this is an important center where most significant part of the exercise is being executed, right? जितने भी important missions है ज़्यादातर यहाँ से किए जाते हैं. 15 year in making. This is for the first time that ISRO is sending out back-to-back space exploration mission. By back-to-back, I mean recently Chandrayaan की अगर बात करें, that was a substantial progress that India has made. India has become the 4th country to achieve this target and first country to achieve the target where we have reached out to the South Pole in the moon, right? Now, if you look at the part, the PSLV C56 or Aditya-L1 mission, this is scheduled for today. Satish Dhawan Space Center, many a times this become important for the competitive examination. Now, Aditya-L1 mission की अगर बात करें, what is this and what is actually mission all about? The Aditya-L1 mission is a first space-based solar probe that aims to study the solar wind, which cause the disturbance on the earth that are commonly known as errors, right? So this is how this mission will actually not reach out to the sun surface, right? It will basically study the part of the sun, their part of the observation, far away, which will be definitely closer to us. So this is the sun, this is Earth, this is sun, and the observatory will be somewhere close here so that it can monitor the part of the functioning and even the atmospheric weather, the solar wind which is there around the sun. The PSLV, our Aditya-1 mission, can be counted as one of the longest missions. Almost 5 years के लिए से initially encapsulate की गई है ताकि वो सारी चीज़ों के स्टडीज़ के थ्रू हमें पता चल पाए कि what is how and how the part of the Aditya mission will actually monitor the sun, the part of the solar studies and solar system में और से सारी चीज़ें हैं that possibly the deep down into the part that will be also into consideration. Now, looking at the part, that is Aditya-1 will have a Lagrange, that is L1. This is the Lagrange by me. that एक रेंज बनाई जाती है where the things are placed, एक ऑर्बिटल सेट की जाती है where only the part of the missions will revolve around, and this will be between Earth and Sun, which is roughly 1%, that is 150 million kilometer distance between the two. So this range is again important, से lag range कहा जाता है, और इस lag range के थ्रू ही सारी चीजें ऑपरेट होंगी. Now, just to tell you what are the components that is there in Aditya-L1 mission. So this has something specific. This is the one is called SUIT, VLCs, PAPA. They all have an acronyms and full form. If you want, you can just check out with this through websites: magnetometer, Swiss, steps, Helios, and Solis. Right. So this is how it will actually function. These are the important component that is attached with the mission. Now, aim or significance क्या है Aditya-1 missions की? The payload are expected to provide crucial information and understand the problem of coronal heating, coronal mass ejection, pre-flare and flare activities and their characteristics, dynamics of the space weather, and propagations of the particle and fields. This is how it will actually function. Now moving ahead, that is panel to explore the possibility of one nation, one election. Something important for General Studies paper 2, that is Parliament and State Legislature, Structure and Function, the conduct of businesses, and power and privileges and issues arising from it. So the government of India has actually come up with a panel which is headed by the former President of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, to explore the possibility of one nation, one election. Now, when it comes to the part of O and OE, that is one nation, one election, this has been a long ongoing demand. Even for the part of the political parties, some are reluctant to proceed further, but this has been an ongoing demand. From examination perspective, UPSC has been asking these questions specifically in the mains examination to look out the feasibility of implementations of the one nation one elections. तो आपके इसके basics पता होने चाहिए so that you can answer this. Now it aims to hold the general election and state election simultaneously. There will be one election that is conducted. Now just to give you an example, this type of practice has already been there in Nepal, right? But वहाँ पे executions लेकर के काफी ज़्यादा problem हुई. The moves come at a time when government is recently calling for a special session of the parliament. Yesterday I have made a discussion जहाँ मैंने आपको बताया था parliament की special session बुलाई गई है G20 meeting के बाद, and like this is something which is also a part of the agenda of the government. The center has been pushing for an idea for simultaneous elections, that is for the Lok Sabha and the state assembly for a while. Now upcoming elections की अगर बात करें, see India is definitely a country which mostly, entire year we have somewhere elections ongoing. So assembly polls की अगर बात करें, the upcoming elections is going to be held at Madhya Pradesh. Then we have in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Mizoram. So these are due in November and December. उसके बाद जो लोक सभा की election है, that is expected next year by May. So this is something which will be again significant. One nation, one election as a concept की अगर बात करें, the idea was mooted several times previously as has been studied by the Law Commission of India. Law Commission of India ने भी इसके बारे में recommendations जारी की थी. The main idea is to have a poll which Lok Sabha and all state assemblies together and simultaneously holding the election on a single. The central government has been holding the part of financial burden. बहुत सारे ऐसे इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस हैं, उनको कट ऑफ करने के लिए इस तरह के इलेक्शंस एंड द पार्ट ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूशंस इज बेसिकली बीइंग mooted बाय द गवर्नमेंट. नाउ क्या एडवांटेजेस होंगे इफ दिस इज इम्प्लीमेंटेड? वी हैव टू साइड ऑफ द कॉइन. सो फर्स्ट विल सी द एडवांटेजेस, दैट इज द पॉजिटिव साइड्स, देन आई विल टेल यू द डिसएडवांटेज, दैट इज द नेगेटिव साइड. So the concept of one nation, one election is calling for the reductions in the cost of conducting the election, the manpower, the cost that is incurred is pretty high. That same amount can be used for the welfare program, right? तो इसमें से use की जा सकती है. Apart from this, it also sees the burden for the administrative and security forces to otherwise engage in multiple times for the election duties. Government can focus more on the governance rather than being an election mode, because there's a model code of conduct that also come around, and actually the governance part is definitely impacted. Simultaneous election, according to the law commissions, will increase the voter turnout because it will be more easy for people to come and cast the ballot at a single go. Now, disadvantages की अगर बात करें, for incorporating one nation, one elections, the changes would be required for the constitutions and other legal framework. The regional issues might be overshadowed by the national issues. Agreement among the other political parties remain a significant hurdle. तो ये कुछ disadvantages है one nation, one elections के. Now moving ahead, progress report for the missions to the clean Ganga, something important for General Studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So, there's a continuation of 7 years which is ongoing with the National Mission for Clean Ganga. Almost 20,000 crore rupees की ambitions रखी गई है. It has installed the treatment plan capabilities and treating just 20% of the sewage eliminations to be generated in the next 5 major states that lies along the river. Right? So, government की एक dedicated project है, but the progress which is substantially oriented is not there. Right? The National Commissions for Clean Ganga is a government initiative that aims at cleaning and regenerating the part of Ganga River, which is one of the most sacred and culturally significant river in the country, which is passing through various states, which include Uttar Pradesh. It is expected to increase about 33% by 2024. Treatment plants की अगर बात करें, how the treatment plant is actually being devised out and how it is actually executing. So, according to the latest projections that is made with the National Mission for Clean Ganga, treatment plants की अगर बात करें 60% of the sewerage by December 2026 की target रखी गई है. These calculations are permitted with a tune of 11,765 million liters per day. कुछ 5 states हैं जिनको that will be generating this is Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. This figure derives from the report submitted by the National Green Tribunal earlier this year. Now, what exactly is the National Mission for Clean Ganga? So, this was a part of the mission that was launched way back in 2014, जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट ने comprehensive और integrated approach की बात की थी to address the part of pollutions and the part of degradations in the river Ganga. The mission was established as a part of Namami Gange program that seeks to devise and achieve the objective. यहाँ पे conservation or ecosystem was also one of the important factors. The main objective of the Namami Gange mission is to ensure that no untreated sewage flows into the river. Now, STPs, sewage treatment plants or sewerage networks की अगर बात करें, so the network is around the heart of the Namami Gange mission, which account for 80% of the project outlay. उसके अलावा the part of the sewage treatment plant is capable for 2,665 MLD, that is actually commissioned and the new functioning. From 2014 onward, the mission has been first announced in 2021 and only 811 MLD capacity has been completed. Moving ahead, GST revenue is to 3-month low, something important for General Studies paper 3. That is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. So according to the data from the Ministry of Finance, basically this data is regard to the current GST collection. ये बताया गया है that center और state government की जो collection हुई है GST में, that is 1.59 trillion, right? The revenue is, this is in August, और this is an increase of 11% or in or year basis. But अगर monthly की बात करें, this is a dip which is compared to the month of June, right? Monthly GST collection was around 1.65 trillion in June. So this you can make the difference. Earlier it was 1.65. Now for the month of August it is 1.59. The minister said that the revenue from the import of the goods is 3% higher on year basis, or domestic transactions की अगर बात करें, which was 14% higher. Now, what is the state performance? See, every state has an inevitable role, right? So, states की अगर बात करें, Uttar Pradesh is among one, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu. They have reported double-digit annual growth in terms of GST collections, where Maharashtra reported 23% jump, right? उसके अलावे this is followed by Karnataka and the state like Gujarat. Numbers and data, the amount is not important. You just need to know the graph and trend for the part of the collections. Now, experts की क्या opinion है इस पे? The expert also said that the GST collections remain robust and there are some factors that could dampen the part of revenue receipt to the futures. The headline GST numbers is marginalized lower in the agency forecast, that is dampening the import, which is a matter of commodity price. The overall collection for this year remain robust. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, that is ahead of G20 India's road safety challenge. This particular article or editorial is important for general studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So what I'll be making you understand through this article, the theme of this article is G20 and the road safety. The G20 platform should be prioritizing with the part of road safety. We'll see that debt toll which is there in India, World Bank की क्या बातें हैं road safety को लेकर के, G20 and the road safety, Motor Vehicle Amendment Act, need of the hour and the conclusion part. Now, India face significant road safety challenge. अगर बात करें कौन कौन से ऐसे फैक्टर हैं जो इस चीज़ को कंबाइन करते हैं, this include the part of rapid urbanizations, diverse population, inadequate infrastructure, the lack of the part of the tax enforcement for the traffic rule, and the growing number of vehicles on the road. So this together, accumulate for the part of the road accident which is there in the country. डेथ टोल की अगर बात करें, दिस आर द डेटा मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट ने ये बताया दैट ऑलमोस्ट क्लोज टू 4,12,432 रोड एक्सीडेंट हैज बीन रिपोर्टेड, राइट, एंड दिस इज समथिंग विच इज ऑलमोस्ट 1,53,972 पीपल वर किल्ड. रोड एक्सीडेंट में डिक्रीज देखी गई है पिछले कुछ सालों में, दैट इज 8.1% फ्रॉम अर्लियर इट वॉज 14.8%. फैटिलिटीज अकाउंट फॉर द रोड एक्सीडेंट दैट इज 1.9%, right? And while the death toll in the road races and other several is also counting to be high, तो ज़रूरत है लोगों को अवेयर किया जाए and they should be aware how the part of the road safety need to be actually envisioned, और इसकी implementation और awareness काफ़ी ज़्यादा important. Now, World Bank ने क्या कहा है road safety को लेकर के? The World Bank has noted that road safety in India is vital for the nation health, well-being and economic growth. Now, this also deprived the section of the society where most vulnerable road crashes that include the part of pedestrian, cyclists, two-wheelers and unprotected children. Close to 70% of the fatalities on the road are belonging to the economically productive sections of the populations. G20 और road safety की अगर बात करें, see, G20 has again become an important forum. There are multiple dimensions which are covered in the meeting. तो उसमें road safety के intrinsic linked G20 main agenda economic growth और prosperity में रही है. However, the issue has not received the headline in the space in terms of the G grouping agenda. बहुत सारे ऐसे मीटिंग हुए, G20 education, tourism, the part of the economic reform, everything was taken into consideration, but road safety was not given undue importance. In 2016, the International Road Safety Organization has requested G20 leaders to support the UN goal for halving the death toll for the 2030. The ongoing event for the G20 under India G20 presidency raised a fresh hopes of tackling the persistence challenge of the road safety. Now, Motor Vehicle Amendment Act 2019, this was something very, very important, जहाँ पे amendment के through powerful modern tools लाई गई थी, systematic implementations की बात की गई थी, with the part where significant road safety was promoted. However, the several well-framed programs did not come up with a desired result, और implementations में भी कई ऐसे bottlenecks रहे हैं जिसे हमें देखने की जरूरत है. We need to find out the accountability. The sentence some states do not have excellent record in completing the project timely basis, और इसकी वजह से बहुत सारी जो information technology में भी जो bottlenecks रही हैं, the desired result what actually not made. Need of the hour, this is something that has to be done at immediate basis. The pressing necessity is to think afresh to bring about the significant reductions in the number of the road races. The approach that fixes the accountability need to be drawn up urgently. G20 जो countries हैं उन्हें convene करने की ज़रूरत है एक formal task to grave the challenges and deliberate the possibility of the result-oriented solutions. G20 members with the commendable road safety can partner with the countries struggling to tackle the challenge, and G20 should urge the countries to concern to frame the part of set targets for reducing the number of road accidents. Now, to conclude with the part of this session, I mean, road safety की अगर बात करें in India, it's a matter for great concern. Not only government, we as an individual stakeholders need to take care that इस तरह के प्रॉब्लम की क्रूशियलिटी को समझने की जरूरत है, इंपॉर्टेंस को समझने की जरूरत है, एंड हाई नंबर ऑफ रोड ट्रैफिक एक्सीडेंट एंड फैटेलिटी इन कंट्री नीड टू बी रिड्यूस्ड. It is high time to remind that the global stakeholders to pay attention to the road safety. Individual nations and international community seems to realize the urgency of the matter. Right. This is also the case for the G20 to pay attention to the issue so that we can feasibly come up with the resolution where we are actually witnessing the part of the decline in the road accident. तो ज़रूरत है लोगों का अवेयर किया जाए, ऐसी पॉलिसी बनाया जाए, उसे मॉनिटर किया जा सके ताकि रोड सेफ्टी की जो डिजायर रिजल्ट्स है वो मिल पाए. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. That is, first correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is D. Today's MCQ for practice आपको PM दक्ष प्रोग्राम के बारे में बताना. It was launched by the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is a national action plan for skilling the marginalized, covering SC, OBC, ENT and DNTs. So do check out for the correct option. Second is about the Akash missile. It's the part of science and technology question is very important nowadays. So it's a range of 25 kilometers and can simultaneously engage multiple targets in all weather conditions. It was induced in 2014 with an Air Force and 2015 with Indian Army. So check out for the correct option. We have a lot more other platform where questions are published on daily basis. You can practice from there as well. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ. If you have any other queries, concern about the test series, program and courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.